Hello everyone, welcome to our tutorial of Get Started with Web3 Development based on Ethereum using FMZ easily. In the previous lesson, we introduced Web3 and its related concepts. In this lesson, we'll move on to the practical part and start with the initial setup of using FMZ for Web3 development from scratch. We will cover the settings for Web3 RPC and testnet, FMZ exchange, and Docker settings, and finally complete the initial setup for using FMZ for Web3 development. First, let's introduce the settings for Web3 and testnet. For Web3 RPC and testnet, an RPC, that is, Remote Procedure Call node, is an interface to an Ethereum network that allows developers or users to interact with the Ethereum blockchain network using the Web3 library. These nodes enable users to communicate with the blockchain and send transactions, check account balances, query smart contracts, and retrieve other information related to the Ethereum network. Goerli testnet is a version of the Ethereum network that provides a testing environment for developers and users. The testnet is similar to the Ethereum mainnet and is used to simulate the Ethereum network and help developers test and debug in a secure environment without incurring real currency costs. RPC nodes can be self-hosted or provided by node service providers. There are many node service providers, such as Infra. And here we'll use Infra as an example to configure the RPC node address in the Goerli testnet. Here, we first register on Infra and log in. After logging in, we can see the page like this, and here we click Create New API Key, and we choose Web3 API here and name it as our preference. Click Create button. Here we can see the page, and we click the endpoints here. And at Ethereum, here we choose the Goerli. And we copy the RPC URL, which is the RPC node address for the Goerli testnet. We have clicked the copy. And now let's proceed with the setup on the FMZ platform. First, we need to familiar ourselves with a few basic concepts. First is the architecture of FMZ Quant trading platform. Register an FMZ account. After logging in, you can access various features on the platform. The FMZ website serves as the management end of the entire system, while the programs written by users actually run on the Docker. The Docker software can be deployed on various devices, such as server and computers. When the user writes a program on the FMZ website and creates a running instance, the FMZ platform communicates with the Docker, and the Docker interacts with Ethereum or other chains, allowing the program instances to start and run on the Docker. Now let's deploy the Docker. In order to run program instances, it is necessary to deploy a Docker. The deployment process for the Docker is also very simple. Here we click on Add Docker. Here we can see one-click rent a Docker VPS and add a Docker manually. You can deploy and run the Docker program on devices such as servers or personal computers, as long as the network is functioning properly. And of course, you have access to the corresponding targets such as Exchange APIs or node addresses. Here, let's take a personal computer as an example and see how to deploy the Docker. First, you need to download the Docker program for your specific device operating system. There are variants available for Linux, Mac, and Windows systems. Download the appropriate variant based on your device operating system. If it's a server, you need to download the Docker's compressed package to the server. Here we have downloaded the corresponding variant to our desktop, to our own computer, and we have unzipped it here. Then we open the terminal. Let's configure the Docker's communication address. The communication address is unique to each FMZ account. Here we copy it. Here on the terminal, we enter our FMZ platform password, and after it appears login OK. That means the local Docker is successfully configured. The server side is also the same program. And we click the Docker again. Here we can see the Docker information. During the strategy running period, please make sure that the local Docker is not closed. You can also use the one-click rent a Docker VPS provided on FMZ platform, which is a server automatically developed by FMZ for rental. Just click to complete the setup. If you don't want to use it anymore, you can simply delete it. Here, just click delete, and the billing will stop accordingly. Now let's take a look at the concept of an exchange. Here on our FMZ platform, the exchange platform, that is the platform. On FMZ, the platform is a generic term for a CEX, that is centralized exchange. It refers to a specific exchange account configuration. For Web3, this exchange refers to a configuration information that includes the RPC node address and private key confirmation. And we open the platform, we open the exchange's interface, and we click on Add Platform. We select a protocol by choosing Web3. Here we enter the RPC node address of the Goerli test network that was configured earlier. And here we input our private key. Here we click Add Platform. and we input our login password of FMZ platform. Click authorization, and here we can see it is added successfully. And here we can see the platform was successfully added here. In this way, the exchange will be successfully configured. Here we should notice, here we should pay attention that the account information, encrypted strings in strategic parameters, and other sensitive data configured on the FMZ Quant trading platform are encrypted on the client side of the browser. The information stored on the FMZ Quant trading platform is encrypted and not stored in plain text. Only the user private device can decrypt and use this information, thus greatly enhancing the security of sensitive data. Finally, let's introduce the debugging tool. FMZ Quant trading platform provides a free debugging tool that supports JavaScript and TypeScript. Because creating an instance for execution is chargeable, but during the initial learning phase, you can use this debugging tool for testing and learning purposes. The debugging tool has a maximum runtime limit for 3 minutes. But it is otherwise similar to creating an instance for execution. We can run some code to test it out. Here we have the configured Docker information and exchange information. The code means that you input your wallet address and then output your wallet balance information. Here we click execute. Wait for a moment, and we can see here is the balance information of your own account. So far, our initial settings of Web3 and FMZ interaction is completed. You can try it out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and we will be happy to answer them for you. See you in the next lesson.